This is an entry-level gaming PC with entry-level specs. As a Linux user, I like to believe that Linux has a better gaming performance with entry-level PCs, because it uses less system resources, which hopefully means that more of it is left for the actual game. But is this really true? To find out, I ran 5 games on Windows and Ubuntu Linux to compare the gaming performance. Starting with Hogwarts Legacy, the experience is very similar. Depending on the scene, sometimes Windows has the upper hand, sometimes Linux, but the difference is negligible. It's worth noting that the CPU usage on Linux is slightly lower, but this seems not to have any effect on the performance. Next up is The Last of Us. This time, it seems that the lower usage of system resources in Linux brings a noticeable advantage. The CPU usage on Linux is constantly around 10% lower, which results in better gaming performance in CPU-intensive scenes. In less demanding scenes, it runs about the same. Like Hogwarts Legacy, it's a good experience with both operating systems, but this time Linux has a slight edge. The next game on the list is Dead Space, where Windows scored a clear win. The performance was around 5% better on Windows, which is not a huge deal on its own, but Linux had sometimes really bad frame pacing during cutscenes and gameplay. This problem can be solved with a frame cap, which results in a nice frame time graph but increases the latency. Cyberpunk is the only game where I enabled upscaling. I wanted to stress the CPU with a high frame rate in order to see if the lower overhead in Linux results in better performance. But to my surprise, Windows was a bit faster and the frame times were excellent with both operating systems. The last game for this comparison is Spider-Man. This is another game with a good performance on both operating systems. In most scenes, Linux was a bit faster, but sometimes Windows swung back and had a couple frames more to offer. But all in all, you can enjoy this game no matter the side you pick. So then, what's the conclusion from this comparison? My expectation was that on this entry-level system, Linux would perform better due to its lower resource usage. Sometimes this was the case, but not always. All in all, the experience is really close no matter the operating system. The only exception was Dead Space, which had bad frame pacing in Linux, but was playable with a frame cap. To me, the most interesting discovery was that in all tested games Linux had a lower CPU usage. I expect this to help this particular system with more demanding games in the future, but time will tell. If you liked the video, please leave a like and consider subscribing to my new channel, and I hope to see you in the next one.